Have you ever watched a close friend or family member go down a bad path? They stop seeming like themselves, and it hurts to watch? Yeah, that's how I feel about Eris. Because if you look at the comment section for Mushoku Tensei Season 3 premiere, everyone's treating Eris like a boss with unmatched aura. And don't get me wrong, she is aura farming. Now look, I love the show, the world building, the way the powers work, the story, minus a few problems with Rudy, but that's a whole video for another day. But when I watched these episodes, I didn't see a badass winning a fight. I felt disappointed in Eris. Because Eris isn't flexing confidence here, she's a feral animal running on unhealed trauma. And to understand why, you have to look through the eyes of the girl everyone's calling a hater. Nina. Imagine you spent your whole life in the Sword Sanctum, waking up at dawn, looking for the sword, waiting for its tradition, and that master she just disrespected, that's her dad. Then in the first duel, she takes out your cousin Gino with a surprise attack. The sword god calls it fair. In a battle, once you touch the sword, you're ready for anything. And that is true in a battle. But this was a practice match. So when Nina gets called up, of course she wants to teach this outsider a lesson. You'll be mad too. Before the fight, another student throws Nina a metal cord sword. And here's the detail the anime buries. The novel describes her quivering, thinking a wooden sword with a metal core was cowardly. But hey, this girl violated the rules first, right? She low-key didn't even want to use it. She shatters Eris' sword in her mind. It's over. Just tap her on the head and claim the win. But Eris doesn't stop here, and what happens next is the part no one's being honest about. Eris starts using her fists, keeps punching and punching, past the point the fight was decided. Nobody steps in, not the teacher, and not Nina's own father sitting over there, until Nina literally wets herself in terror. That's when they finally stop her. That's when they finally pull her off for her. And here's the reveal that destroys the whole "she deserves it" argument. Eris didn't even know about the metal cord sword until after the beating. She picked it up and felt the weight. That's when she kicks Nina across the room to the sword god. So let's be honest about what we all watched. Eris wasn't delivering justice. She didn't know there was anything to punish. She beat a girl who was already finished because she could. So what exactly were we cheering for? And if you think Eris comes out of this looking so bad, wait until you meet Nina's father. And in my opinion, he's a nailed dad, but you know, that's your guys' opinion to take, so. But anyways, the sword god, this man watches his own daughter get beat until she wets herself. Does nothing about it. Well, actually does do something about it. He takes the girl who did it and gives her a private chamber away from the others, personal training, and later on in the light novel when Nina actually wins in sparring against the Water King, his reaction, well, an interesting outcome. That's it. The novel literally tells us Nina felt his disappointment. Imagine your own father basically not believing you. Nina doesn't have a rival's problem. She has daddy issues. Nah, but all jokes aside, she has a father who only sees strength in the sword, even when he looks at his own kid. And to be honest, that just raises a bigger question. He calls his students soft. Is it their fault? Or is he just a terrible teacher? To answer that, we need Steph Curry. And I know, Steph Curry anime, just wait, listen, okay? Imagine you go to Steph Curry's basketball camp. He shows you his legendary quick release. That's the sort of light. But basketball isn't just a quick release. It's dribbling, defense, court IQ. You're not even being taught by Curry. You're taught by an assistant coach who was taught by another assistant coach who was taught by Curry. That's a game of telephone. Nobody's getting the true understanding of the sword. That's the Sword Sanctum for you though. Two of your students get dog walked, kids from your own family who grew up there, and you blame their softness? Nah, gal, that's your training's fault. They only know what you taught them. And then to top it off, the unhinged outsider disrespects him to his face, survives the exchange, and he goes, "I'll train you personally." In the light novel, Eris doesn't even charge him. She just braces and gets blasted backwards before she even knows what happened. I actually like how the anime added her charging in. It shows how desperate she is, and how she's chasing something way bigger. And as the months pass on, Eris's grind turned into something genuinely terrifying. There's a scene that proves she would kill your grandma for a nap. But a quick honest note first, the anime frames Nina like she's consistently hovering over Eris, just hating. That's not really how it goes. Nina barely talks to her outside the monthly pair-offs. The novel calls them evenly matched. Nina believes she won more than she's lost when proper rules were in place. It was random Sanctum girls bugging Eris to train with them, and honestly, they're probably just being nice, but if someone ever responds, take the hint. But by now, Eris is training herself into the ground, swinging the sword, sleep deprived, barely human, so when a visiting master shows up at the gate, the North Emperor, and just tries to talk to her, Eris doesn't care who he is. He's an obstacle between her and her bed. She says move. He doesn't listen. She uses this technique at him. The novel literally describes her like an animal trying to get back at its nest. And the fight was amazing, don't get me wrong, but the spin-off manga has her biting a blade, and I know the anime's following the light novel, but you can't tell me this wouldn't have been code animated. She is straight up a wild animal at this point. Like imagine your grandma was visiting, dropping off cookies, and just had bad hearing. Well, rip grandma. Eris is too tired to talk, but she's always ready to catch a felony charge. Free my girl Eris. And here's the thing, our real problem was never Eris, it's with us. When we look past the surface hype, the story is actually showing us a tragedy. We are watching a girl we love since season 1 slowly lose pieces of her humanity to unhealed trauma. She isn't beating Nina out of malice. She's doing it because her mind is trapped in that terrifying moment when she was too weak to do anything against the dragon god. So when the comment section looks at a broken person wearing arrogance as armor and just calls it aura, I think we're missing the brilliant writing. The author didn't write this arc to show us a flawless boss with massive aura. He wrote it to show us the devastating price of obsession. I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy the fight. The animation was genuinely gorgeous and the fights were amazing. Eris' dedication is incredible too. But caring about these characters means looking past the surface. It means being honest about the tragedy underneath the hype. That's exactly why this channel is called The Honest Otaku. If you made it this far, one question, and I want the real answers in the comments. Out of Rudy's 3 featured wives, who's your favorite and why? Mine's Sylphie, and it comes down to this one quote.
Nobody loved me when I was nobody!
I did!
That's Sylphie's whole energy. Drop yours below, and subscribe if you want more honest takes. This channel's just getting started, so it genuinely helps. I'm the Honest Otaku, see you in the next one.